Alright, sorry about the delay here. We had some administrative problems, but it looks like the game is about ready to get underway. So, we will be getting underway here very, very shortly, as the game has now been kicked off. Let me kill Monster Cat. Switch over the overlays.
Yeah, dude, I was randomly in a pub with Kupo today. It was hilarious. I was like, I think I'm casting your game today. And I think he just like auto-muted me or something because he never responded to me at all.
He was too focused on practicing for the big game. That big game being what we're heading into now, the rematch between Firestarters and Lavender Esports, as they meet each other once again, this time in the playoffs of the AD2L Season 9 Heroic Bracket Playoffs. These two teams met each other in Week 2 of the Season 9 playoff, what would you call it, the regular season, I guess? And Lavender Esports took it 2-0 in that matchup, but both teams have come a long way since then. I believe Lavender Esports are playing with a stand-in today, that stand-in being Nightmare dressed like a Da. And so we'll see if that plays into their performance for the night, and if Firestarter can avenge the only two losses that they've had all season as they go up against one another.
I care about this game a lot now since my team just got into the semifinal.
Yeah, it's a big game to care about. Both teams playing exceptionally well, and with your team in the pipeline ready to go up against the potential winner of this one, it's got a personal
Not this one,
weight for you.
Yeah, so like these people will play, and then the other teams will play, and then they'll play their semifinals, and then we play the final against whoever is left.
Yep. You have to make it there, though. You have, what, one more game to get through before you meet potentially one of these two teams?
Yeah, we have to play Trial and Error or Planet Hype, and we've played both of those teams a lot, so we know them pretty well.
So it's going to be an easy win for you, so you may verse whoever wins this.
I didn't say that! I didn't say that! In case they're watching.
I said it for you. So getting started here with the bands,
I love the Winter Wyvern.
We have Alchemist and Doom banned out by Firestarter, and Tusk Undying banned out by Lavender Esports. And of course, the Winter Wyvern pickup from Firestarter, an excellent Platinum tier support hero right now. He's got saves, he's got tempo control, he's got a light nuke, he's got a lot of it. Speaking of saves, Lavender Esports respond with a save of their own, picking up the Shallow Grave on Dazzle.
Yeah, Dazzle's just an amazing support too. You got the armor. Armor is big right now. Like, it's just huge. Ember. I like the Ember pickup. I mean, Slaughter. If they pick up Slaughter, Ember's gonna have a tough game though, even with Shallow.
Yep, it's always a threat, but for now, it'll remain on the board as Wind Ranger is the second pickup from Firestarter, and they go into the bans, and they're quick about it. They know who they want to ban, banning out the Spectre and the Husker with pretty much no delay.
Yeah, Lavender likes to go late game. You know, picking up the Spectre would have been good for them. And I don't know much about Firestarter, but I guess they play Huskar, and nobody wants to play against a Huskar.
That's true. Husker is a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, the added armor on top of Husker's innate immortality can be quite a bit of and the Shallow Grave. Although Shallow Grave timing on a Husker can be difficult just because the closer he gets to death, he becomes more and more immortal as is. So it's hard to time that one perfect.
The way you do it is when he's like almost dead, he has armlet, obviously, it's on, and then when he's almost dead with the armlet on, you shallow him so he can turn it off and just hit people, and then he toggles it back on.
But speaking of Slardar, Slardar is actually banned out by Firestarter, so it looks like
I don't know why they'd ban Slithering Guard. It would be a really good pickup for them. They're on the dire side. They have Wind Ranger. It would enable really easy Roshans. Maybe they're thinking Lavender's going to take it first right up the bat here to keep them from getting it. I mean, that would be my only rationale for banning the Slithering Guard over there.
It could be. Slardar is one of those heroes that can work into Lavender's favor as well, though, and threat throughout the game, especially once he gets his Blink online. It provides them with some even greater initiation on top of the Ember Spirit, who can be a bit tricky, especially if he's using his Fiery Remnants as an escape mechanism rather than an engagement one.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, that's how you play Ember, is you just rat.
5 seconds remaining.
Yep. So we have a ban out of the Darkseer is the final ban from Firestarter, Lavender Esports, assuming that Wind Ranger's going to be in the mid lane, and based on the games I've seen, I assume Lavender's been doing their homework and are suspecting Wind Ranger to be played in the mid lane, which is where Firestarter typically plays that hero in, and the lane that the hero is played in most often, anyways.
I've seen Wind Rangers go like solo safe lane if they want to aggro try and then do like a different mid to kind of change things up, but it's probably middle. I just find it odd. Like, I think Darkseer would have been great with the Ember Spirit on Lavender and they banned it, and then the same with the Slaughter on the
Slaughter would be good.
Shadow Shaman's been seeing, Shadow Shaman's seeing a lot more play these days. Like, he's just like, if you're a Rubik and they have a Shadow Shaman, you don't care which skill you get, they're all good.
Yep, and if any of you out there have been watching the Frankfurt Majors, you've been seeing Shadow Shaman in play, and some pretty solid performances of Shadow Shaman, with his 2 strong disables, the Shackles and the Hex, being used to their full potential and just locking down multiple heroes for their entire duration, as well as getting some of those snake traps off during critical team fights. That's going to be a bit more difficult with heroes like the Winter Wyvern and Wind Ranger, which are both pretty mobile throughout team fight setups, but of course the Hex and the Shackle will be able to more or less counteract the Wind Run, but you're not going to be able to...
The Shackle's going to be a lot harder to keep now with Earthshaker.
Yep. Any of those channel spells immediately become a challenge, which, so far, the only one they have on the board is those Shackles.
Shadow Shaman's going to need a Blink Taker this game.
And with the Dazzle in play, I suspect we'll see the... Wow, Shadow Fiend comes screaming in through my headset here. He seems to be much louder than the rest of the heroes picked up. But with Shadow Shaman and Dazzle both being in play, I suspect we'll see the Dazzle as that 5th slot, which will allow Shadow Shaman to farm up in that 4th role a little bit more towards that Blink Dagger or potential Aghanims.
Like, I really like what they did here. They picked the Ember Spirit, and then Firestarter assumed it was going to be middle, and then they delegated the role to mid lane, to safe lane, and then they had Shadow Fiend go mid, so that there's a better matchup in the mid lane between Wind Ranger and Shadow Fiend, and it's a Radiant side Shadow Fiend, which is just good.
Yep, especially if those 2 support cores are hitting those jungles and making stacks for him to either catch up or further progress his lead.
I think Dazzle will be on the harass role with the Ember there, and then Shadow Shaman will be stacking camps and kind of being behind the Shadow Fiend in case Earthshaker rotates into the mid lane for early ganks.
And going into the 4th pick here, Firestarter taking their time. Not too unusual for them in the 4th pick. They like to save a lot of their reserve time and burn it up here in the 4th pick and their final ban, just to make sure that they're going through all of the possibilities, going through any of the potential last picks that the opposing team might have up their sleeve, and They start off by picking up the Phoenix, which will give them another stun. So they have a lot of team fight here between the Echo Slam, the Winter's Curse, the Phoenix Egg. It's going to be dangerous for Lavender Esports to fight into Team Firestarter too early in the matchup. But as the game goes on, you're going to see those two agility carries start to hit pretty hard on the solo targets, which could be used against them if Winter's Curse catches out the wrong target at the wrong time. You'll imagine a Shadow Shaman having both an Ember Spirit and a Shadow Fiend beating on him 50 minutes into the game. He is not going to last long.
Even like 15 minutes into the game, I had a Winter's Curse last night with 4 heroes onto a Crystal Maiden, and she lived with 20 HP.
Oof.
And they all hit her once. That's all they did. They hit her once, and she was at 20 HP, and I was like, no.
Well, Shadow Shaman, Dazzle, both I consider both of them a little bit more durable than Crystal Maiden, because Crystal Maiden I see as being pure glass and just exploding if you look at her, but not much stronger. So
they need an offlane pick here.
They need an offlane pick, and I think they need someone with a little bit of meat. Right now, they have the Shadow Fiend,
they need
Ember.
Crowd control. Like, Shadow Fiend needs crowd control. If you don't have crowd control, he's not going to be able to hit people, which is what you want him to do. I guess Broodmother, I mean, that's not crowd control, but it pushes.
It pushes. It forces Firestarter to... that's an interesting pickup, because now what they're going to do is they're going to create space with Broodmother, and if Firestarter don't respond to her, she's going to take lanes quickly. If they do respond to her,
I don't know,
then that's going to free up space for Shadow Fiend and Ember Spirit to get farm and take this game into the end game phase where Lavender Esports are a little bit more comfortable and where they typically shine.
Firestarter has a lot of good wave clear for Spiderlings, though. They have Earthshaker, Splinter Blast, Power Shot, Phoenix. All of them have really good AoE, and I think, like, okay, so if Brood gets shut down, it's going to be really tough for Lavender early game, but she can always go to the jungle to recover.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for Brood.
Yeah, with the gyro pickup especially. Like you said, they have a lot of AoE wave clear here, so adding Flak Cannon to the Icarus Dive to all of the Earthshaker, everything to the Winter Wyvern mechanics and to the Power Shot from Windranger. But
so I'm gonna call Lavender Team Rat and Firestarter Team. We're gonna
Team Fight. We have Team Rat versus Team Fight.
Team Fight. Yeah, I like that. I think that's what we gotta do. I literally can't even. Yeah, I like that name too.
Alrighty, so as we get into the game here, I'm going to adjust some of the in-game audio settings.
He's the same courier as me, the snail!
Ooh, Snail Courier.
Man.
Get hype over Snail.
Let's introduce the teams. You want to start off on the dire side with?
Sure. I'll go through dire side Firestarter here. So currently heading down the middle lane, you have Kupo playing the Earthshaker. Taking care of the off lane, you have Magma playing Phoenix. And then in the safe lane, getting into position here, it looks like he's going to be spotting out this Broodmother really quickly. You have ABC poking the Broodmother and playing the Gyrocopter. But you have a smoke coming out from Lavender. So this may be a bait spider as they move into position. VMOX leading up the charge. He's put a point into Hex. And Spider throws down a web to try to catch up to ABC, but he quickly retreats back to the safety of his base. And in all likelihood, that is going to be a dead smoke as Firestarter are in position to secure not only this room, but because of the
not going to get a single rune.
Yeah, but because of the commitment to the top lane,
Every coin helps.
it looks like Magma is also going to secure this bot rune. So 2 runes going the way of Firestarter, and team fight is definitely going to go into the laning phase a little bit richer and a little bit more experienced. So finishing up with introductions in the top lane, you have I Literally Can't Even playing the Winter Wyvern. And then in the mid lane, you have Amy playing on Wind Ranger. Want to go ahead with Lavender?
This Brood is going to be in trouble. She doesn't have any sentries, and they've already sentryed down. She's going to get killed right now if they see her. Like, she has to stay in the tree line.
Yep,
She's dead.
But they see her, they poke her. Here comes the Rocket Barrage and the Fissure, and that is first blood going the way of Team Fight Firestarter. We want to go through introductions for Lavender Esports, now that we hopefully have a slight break in the murder.
Yeah, let's start with this Shadow Shaman who's looking for this ward. Shadow Shaman is played by VMOX on Lavender, and then and the rest of the safe lane is Clover's on the safe lane, Ember Spirit, he's going to be carry, Finch is on the 5th position, Dazzle, and then for their middle it's going to be, okay, Lemon Party is the sponsor, JY is playing Shadow Fiend there in the mid lane. And then their off lane is the Broodmother, dressed like a daydream. Oh, Nightmare dressed like a daydream. That's kind of messed up. Like, what?
Yep, and you have a bit of a dive going on here in the top lane. His Gyrocopter is feeling bold after the first blood, and he pushes beyond the tier 1 tower by himself, but not too far, just to keep Broodmother at bay a little bit as his supports head into the side shop and into the jungle to do some neutral pulls. Now,
yeah, they're controlling the lane well. If
yep,
they control the lane, Brood's not going to get anything. She needs sentries.
And they're not only controlling the top lane, they're also controlling that top rune.
Invis bot. See if anyone picks it up. They still haven't been able to find this ward down here. That's a good ward.
But you do have a Shackles going on
Yeah,
Magma, and with the follow-up Heal Bomb, it's going to be enough to drop Phoenix and even the scoreboard to 1-for-1.
The issue with being an offlaner against a Shadow Shaman lane is, what do you do when you get shackled? There's nothing you can do.
Yep, there's the Icarus dive, but you have to have enough time to get the cast animation off at the very least, and with the stacked disables coming out from a single hero, that can become difficult. And now the two supports are going to smoke up and head into this mid lane, where Shadow Fiend has been eating a bit of harass damage from the from the Wind Ranger, and VMOX has both the Invis rune, the smoke, and the clarity now. So with the Invis rune, he'll be able to walk right up to Wind Ranger and stand on top of her, which is going to allow them to get an even better position.
Dazzle should be bottom. It's really suspicious that
but here it comes. There's the Wind Run into the Hex, into the Shackles, and there's no points into Poison yet, so the Shackle Shot's going to be launched off.
Was get him
Yep. The Shackle Shot comes out, lands against the Dazzle, and latches to the Shadow Fiend, so there's going to be no kill there. So a bit of lost time for these supports, as well as the burnt smoke, not securing the kill this time.
This Broodmother is still level 2. Oh my god.
Yep, and Kupo just standing and doing a little dance in front of this Broodmother, saying, "Come at me, bro, I got a fissure with your name on it."
Yeah, that's how I do it too. Like, if they're not gonna come near, you just gotta fake the animation and yeah. They think she's in the tree line, but she's just at her top.
Nope. I forget who it is, but there's the one Shadow Fiend player who, I think it's from one of the Peruvian teams, Unknown Gaming, who he just pretty much spam jukes his ultimate the entire game. Much to the delight of LD, one of the procasters. Let's take a look at the last hits here real quickly. You have Gyrocopter in this safe lane, with the help of his supports who have been completely boxing out this Broodmother, who's still level 2, is sitting on top of the last hits with 32 last hits and 14 denies. So even those last hits that the Broodmother is trying to sneak into experience range for, a lot of those are getting denied. And then second off, you have Amy playing the Wind Ranger in the mid lane, out farming Lemon Party by about 6 last hits right now, so he's got a wave on him. Oh, and I missed the first kill of the game here, or my first miss of the game, as the two supports do find out that Broodmother in the Radiant jungle yet again and secure the second kill against him. But being level 2, he has a near 0-second respawn time, and he's going to scroll back up into the lane and see if he can't get something done as Winter Wyvern rotates into the top rune, and that's going to be 2 more runes secured for Team Firestarter, as they have displayed excellent rune control so far this game. But while Magma is rotating down there, it is going to buy space for Clover, who's going to continue the farm and probably catch up to the Wind Ranger here in just a moment.
Dazzle up top.
Got a Shackle in the middle lane.
Rotating the Dazzle up there.
But it's slightly off the mark, doesn't latch. And yep, Dazzle has rotated to the top lane to try to support this Broodmother so he can get some last hits. But as I say that, and as they do that in the bottom lane, Magma's able to pick off Ember Spirit, and now it's a one-on-one fight between VMOX and Magma, and VMOX falls back to the safety of his tower, and Magma, all of his spells are on cooldown, so he throws out a final right click to bring VMOX low, but doesn't secure the kill. Wind Ranger,
she's gonna go for it.
she is going to go for it and secure it, but now Clover's rotated around, and the fish is going to trap her in place. But with the Wind Run, she's going to be able to get away. Wind Running and bottom, and now there's the Icarus dive into the woods as Magma tries to pick up the final hit on Clover, but he jukes the dive, and he's going to be okay as well. So Wind Ranger getting trapped behind the Earthshaker Fissure, but with the Wind Run mischance being 100%, she's going to be able to dodge the tower damage and get out.
Yeah, this Dazzle needs to go into the Radiant jungle and just start stacking camps. Like, he's not going to be able to help Broodmother up there that much.
And as soon as he left the bottom lane, they lost Clover, but now Clover's going to try to get his revenge as he very slowly attacks Magma. And I'm not sure what
We should
caused
just go back to the
that slowness there.
yeah, he's going back.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They're taking down. It's taking some damage. Stuff's happening top. I guess they're gonna try to do like the shadow heal. I think Dazzle's dead here.
Yep, Dazzle is going to get spotted out,
Yeah.
and he teleports out. So he gets out with next to no health, but enough to get him back to the
Yeah, he
fountain.
would've definitely gotten out. But I mean, he TP'd early enough, so he was fine.
Fine for now, but a couple more skill points since I guess Rocket Barrage is at 3 out of 4 already, so maybe one more point and he wouldn't have made it. Looks like they're going to try to make a go here on VMOX, but he makes it back to Clover, so he is going to be safe. And in the top lane, ABC throwing out his call down ultimates, trying to completely scare and harass this Broodmother out of lane, and so far it's working. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you have Lemon Party
Yeah,
rotating
really
into the
good job
jungle
controlling Brood.
to pick up some additional farm, but he's going to be fissured. Now Wind Ranger's in place, the Shackle lands, and it does connect. So they're going to run in front and try to body block, but it's not needed. He cuts back and eventually falls to the Wind Ranger, who turns her focus to Dazzle, but oh, here comes the Wind Run. She's chasing, she wants it,
She
but
got the power shot. She has the power shot.
she has the power shot, and she won't even need it. Just a couple right clicks, the power shot for good measure. And VMOX was there to try to scare her out of lane, and nothing more, because he did not have enough mana to cast a single spell at that point. He was just hoping his presence alone would be enough to force the Wind Ranger back into position.
Yes.
Magma's taking a lot of damage.
Magma's taking a lot of damage, but he's also keeping Ember relatively low, so Ember feels hesitant to get too near the lane until now, until his Dazzle comes up. But now that he's level 6, he throws down a Fire Remnant, heads back to base, and you'll see him jump back to the Fire Spirit in the bottom lane.
Of Aquila, Magic Wand into battle.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yep, which is going to give him a bit more survivability in the early game. Oh, you got a Shackle against Lemon Party again in the middle lane here as Amy looks for another kill, but the rotation from VMOX is going to get there in time to hex her, but with Magma egging right near the tower, the burn is going to be enough to drop the Shadow Fiend. Now the dive onto VMOX and a couple right clicks is going to be all it takes to drop him. Meanwhile, in the top lane, because we were focusing on that mid lane, we missed yet another kill against the Broodmother as Winter Wyvern and Gyrocopter were able to pick off the unsupported Broodmother, who wasn't able to stand up to the two heroes in the top lane.
Yeah, I think Brood was just too greedy of a pick here, and they already had enough stuff to deal with it.
It's a very greedy pick, and so far Firestarter are clearly winning the laning phase, but Lavender have been behind in most of their games in the early phases of the match, and somehow they find a way to take the game late, stall the game out, turtle up for a bit, and then find their space, take intelligent team fights, and still secure the win. So it's going to be a challenge for them. And in the bot lane, you have Clover pretty much sacrificing himself for Magma, trading your safe lane carry for an off lane is questionable, but he does at least secure the kill before he falls.
397 gold to 288 on the other side. It was worth it.
And it was worth it for Phoenix. Phoenix got more gold out of that.
Did he? Because I'm looking at the fight recap, and it looks like Ember got more gold out of it. Like Phoenix only got 64 gold, while Ember got 397 gold. I mean, Earthshaker got 224.
I missed the fight recap, but just on the killing spree versus the... It looks like Phoenix got 333 and Ember got 259, but that doesn't take into account everything. And as I sit there staring at the kill screen, it looks like we missed yet another kill in the mid lane here as Wind Ranger is able to drop the Shadow Fiend and the Dazzle. And now this tier 2 tower mid is taking a beating.
Oh man. Look at this gold grab.
Not only that, but Magma spots out some of the stacks in the Radiant's jungle, and he's going to just burn those down himself and chew through some of the reserves from Shadow Fiend. And about 13 minutes into the game, we have it.
Recovery Midas, maybe.
Yep. And now Firestarter, it looks like they're going to start grouping up and pushing as a team as they initiate team fight mechanics. Team fight mode, ho!
TP's happening. Yeah, team fight's doing it. They're taking the fight to them. I mean, like last week, they did the same thing. They took the early game and just didn't make any mistakes.
Shackle shot slightly off the mark. It looked like that was going to latch to that melee creep, and Kupo committed with a blink, but Ember had already teleported out, so they're going to settle for the consolation prize and pick off the Shadow Shaman, but clearly not their target. They were clearly going after that Ember Spirit. So the sacrificial lamb and the Shadow Shaman. Lemon Party picking up the haste rune and being harassed by Magma a little bit. He's going to haste his way back into the middle lane to try to recover some of his Necromastery stacks. Clover needs to be very careful.
The Radiant jungle.
Yep, Clover needs to be very careful here in the bottom lane. As he does get shackled, and now the blink from Kupo followed by the fissure, and
what a Radiant! Wow, he's
they're
good. He's
peeking
fine.
into the jungle, but they're not going to be able to spot him out. The fissure half blocking out Team Firestarter here. Magma's still on the hunt though, burning down the trees, but he's long gone, and now they look to take the final
fire starter.
the final tier 1 tower of Lavender Esports.
Man, Firestarters has almost a 10k gold lead right now, I think.
Yep, they've cleared the 10k mark,
Just went past 10k.
approaching 12k at 15 minutes. Just shy of the magical... Oh, you have a dust out on Nightmare Dressed Like a Daydream, and now the chase is on as ABC chases after him, and they're going to catch him with the Winter's Curse followed up, just for good measure, with the call down. But as they do that in the bottom lane, Lavender finally securing themselves the 3rd kill of the match, catching out the Phoenix with Clover and Dazzle.
Structures are fortified.
So for that Phoenix kill, they got 1,000 gold.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oof, yeah, that Phoenix was on a killing spree, and most of that went to Dazzle. So, again, not the ideal target, but it does get some gold going in the correct direction for you, and it brings the net worth chart back under the 10k mark.
Yeah, Broodwind Midas, she needs to recover. Get those leveled.
I'm sitting on level 8 right now, with and that matches up against Dazzle. So Broodmother and Dazzle are the same level right now.
That's not where you want your offlaner to be at. You
That's
side up with your position 5 support for levels.
Yep.
Shadow Fiend's either going SNY or BKB first. I think he's gonna go BKB first. I mean, it's dependent. I think he needs to go BKB. They just have so much crowd control.
It'll allow him to also fight under the egg and throw out his ultimate as well.
Winter's Curse.
And the Winter's Curse. And yep. The team fight mechanics.
Yeah, team fight's gonna take this bottom tower and just stay in their jungle.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Maybe take a Roshan early.
Yeah,
You can
and
see Clover here with this war. Clover should be aware that
Oop.
because that
Finch getting caught out by the support duo of Koopa and Magma. Sunray's going up, and Clover jumps in on Phoenix, but Phoenix has his ultimate ready. Stun coming out from Koopa. Is going to lock him down long enough for the Icarus egg to burn. Now Clover's slowly burning down. The Winter's Curse is going to be there, and it's going to be enough to kill him. Shadow Shaman rotates in, throws down his wards, trying to secure something for himself, but I literally can't even. Is going to walk away as Wind Ranger wraps behind, finishes off the Shadow Shaman. So that's a 3-for-0 trade. Yep. And that cold embrace from
the fight is for.
Yep. That cold embrace from I literally can't even, saving Kupo and helping to regen him up here so that they can push into this tier 2 tower with some of the Lavender Esports heroes out of commission. And in the top lane you have Nightmare Dressed Like a Daydream, just kind of sitting in front of the Spider, who now tries to make a move with Dazzle supporting him from behind, but ABC does have a teleport scroll on hand, and so he just heads into the jungle, teleporting away, knowing that there's no lockdown coming out from Lavender Esports. So, heavy rotation into the top lane, and they're going to try to get something for it here as they look to put pressure into this full health tier 1 tower. There's the ping outs coming from Wind Ranger and the immediate teleports from Team Firestarter. From the bird duo.
We're gonna defend this.
The Fire and Ice bird duo.
Yeah. I don't see Jakiro. What?
He's a Fire and Ice bird duo in and of himself.
Yeah, but his character model is so off.
Phoenix clearing out those spiderlings with just a couple of his birds and an Icarus dive. So
Going more good. Dazzle almost has mechanism complete.
I missed the fight in the bottom lane as Wind Ranger and Shadow Fiend kill each other off. It looked like Wind Ranger got the kill first, but then the dying ultimate of Shadow Fiend got the reciprocating kill. And Broodmother is earned and burned to death. So she was not visible sitting underneath that ward, but between Phoenix's AoE, the missile being cast in time by Gyrocopter, and the urn being applied from, I believe... Nope. Who is it? It's the Phoenix. Phoenix sitting on top of the urn currently.
Firestarter has all the tools they need.
Including a BKB, which makes its debut on ABC as he catches VMUX trying to solo push into this bottom tower. And he easily secures the kill for himself and then cleans up a bit of extra gold from the snake wards as well. In the bottom lane, you had... Looks like Dazzle make a teleport escape right in front of the Winter Wyvern, who must not have been able to see him uphill because he did have Winter's Curse available, ready to go. And he either chose not to commit it to the support, who at this point likely isn't worth much if we take a look at the net worth charts. Dazzle ranking in at a monstrous 3k net worth. Not going to be, you know, the most beneficial kill, but a kill is still a kill. And now we enter the 420 score. Not that that means anything to anyone. But I'm just saying, that is the score.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So here we
I'm
have,
gonna take this bot tower.
yep, Firestarter pushing again as a team. I literally can't even stalling out the tower by healing up one of the creeps, and in the top lane you have Wind Ranger just trying to solo delay
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
the Dire team, and as she does so, Firestarter take the tier
They're gonna
2
go high ground here.
pretty much uncontested.
Yeah, they're going high ground.
They know they need to press their advantage early here, so for now it looks like, yeah, they are going to push high ground at the 22-minute mark. Finch rotating in, getting the weave off on 2.
They need to get Roshan before they can go high ground.
And they did a little bit of chip damage there, clearing off a third of the tier 3 tower health, so 2 more mini commitments like that and it'll be enough. You have the bird combo freezing ABC before he's able to pick off the neutral creeps, and then Magma stealing the big one out from underneath him with the Midas. But as you called, they're heading into the Roshan pit to secure this kill for them, and right now there's no vision from Lavender Esports in the Roshan area, so this will go down relatively quick and without a real contest here. With the teamfight mechanics Firestarter have, I don't know if Lavender would want to fight into that Roche pit, even if it is just 3 or 4.
They can't contest it at all.
No.
And now they can just position Wind Ranger aggressively at towers and
Yep.
use the whatchamacallit, what do you call that thing? It's called focus fire. Yeah, they're just gonna focus fire down buildings, like, and then they'll have everyone behind her and they'll be like, yo, go on me. You gonna go on me? Because if they do, then team fight's just gonna kill Team Rat.
Magma picking up another 150, 200 gold by clearing out the Spirelings in the mid lane. And, yep, as you called, you have Wind Ranger. Actually, you have ABC positioned a little bit further up, tanking a bit of tower damage, but you have the Bird Dragon duo standing behind Wind Ranger, ready to jump in if they do decide to make a move.
Yeah, they're gonna defend top and take that last T2, and then they're gonna push high ground.
And Phoenix trying to secure the deny, but missing out on it. Now Team Rat trying to implement their strategy is you have the waves being cut by Broodmother in the mid lane, you have Shadow Shaman dropping the Snake Wards at the tier 2 in the top lane, and so this is how they're going to try to buy space for Clover, who's now looking to push into the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, clearing out a bunch of last hits for himself, as well as likely finishing off this tower. Wind Ranger's sprinting in to see what she can do. There's the blink. Clover getting spotted out by the power shot, but he's going to teleport safely home, and the tower is finished off by the Radiant as Cardi secures the last hit.
They just created so much space with those two towers. Like, they went from mid up to here, and then they ran back down here. Like, all Team Firestarter has to do is they just need to group up and force a fight at their T3s. Like, that's what they should be doing right now. Instead of like trying to defend their T2s. Like, you trade a T2 for a lane of racks all day.
Yep, and it looks like with a little bit of time left on this Aegis, they are going to look to push back into this bottom lane, which they've already damaged. And Magma rotating from the middle lane down as well. But the mid and top lane are both pushed to the tier 2 towers. So like you said, there may have to be a trade here.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Especially with that DD on her, they're gonna
Oof.
push way faster. They need to. They're TPing back.
Top tower is
Yep, double damage on the Wind Ranger fades.
Vicinity, though.
And the tier 3 goes
Out
down.
of this, I
has
think.
fallen.
BKB being popped by ABC, and he throws down the call down onto the two supports. Finch getting shackled to Nightmare dressed like a dream, as well as eating the Winter's Curse, but not before he drops his wards. And now the Phoenix Eggs deployed as it tries to burn through Lemon Party, who's BKB, but with Kupo blanking in and stunning Demox and Clover,
That Phoenix ult.
that Phoenix ult's going to drop and stun 3 heroes, and Kupo Windrunner are going to secure the kill against Shadow Fiend, and the buyback comes out immediately from Ember Spirit as they try to make a defense here. The Nightmare surging forward and throwing out the spiders against the Earthshaker, so they are able to drop him. But Clover, who's just bought back, gets shackled to the woods, and that is a dieback. Another Spider Spit coming out against not Ember.
Wind Ranger, you're gonna die.
Yep, last man standing is the Wind Ranger. She goes for the shackle, and it doesn't quite connect, and the third spit coming out from Broodmother gets the triple kill. So, moderately successful there.
1,000 gold just for Wind Ranger.
Yep, and the Dota fight recap telling the whole story, of course, as it shows 927 gold going the way of Broodmother, but we know that's not the case, as the charts will probably update here momentarily, now showing a 15k
What?
gold lead in favor of Firestarter, but wait for it to
Mother
update.
with Dagon.
Broodmother did go Dagon, and multiple
She's-
levels of it
level
very
4 Dagon.
quickly with her newfound gold.
For Dagon. What?
So she's
I guess
going
it's
to be
good, like,
looking to provide the nuke damage to her team, and so far those spawn spiderlings did just grant her a triple kill. And it's not going to be the best for pushing into those towers and everything. And Dota being Dota, we have our first disconnect of the match coming out from ABC.
we all love Reborn.
We all love Reborn. It is perfect. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for Let's Look at the Effigies.
Oh, I like this Tidehunter effigy.
So you have I'm Going Down, I'm Playing Timber, which there's a parody song of that on YouTube, performed by Good Fun Have Luck, I believe, which is one of the iterations of my sign-off, and credit to him for getting that stuck in my head. You have Tidehunter screaming Kunkka.
Just look at his face.
Let's see if I can zoom in closer, if it's going to bug out. Nope, it's going to show it to you.
He's literally yelling Kunkka. And we got the Broodmaster over here saying, me after 2 shots tequila.
And it's one of the golden effigies.
And we have the Shadow Fiend down there, all this damage is wonderful.
Is Shadow Fiend playing Shadow Fiend? Nope. Shadow Fiend is, or Clover, rather, is Ember Spirit and not Shadow Fiend this game. I like how pretty much 3 out of the 4 effigies, and even kind of Timber, are doing the arms raised victory position, more or less.
Yeah, my favorite victory position is Venomancer. Like, his whole snake body just jumps up into the air.
I mean, all those effigies are cool. I mean, it's no Death Prophet effigy shouting, "Come to me, my beautiful ladies." I don't know who would be cool enough to have an effigy like that, but...
That's yours. It's your effigy, isn't it?
Oh, you called it! Who would have known?
Tidehunter.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is
And Team Rat coming into their own as Shadow Fiend's able to push the top tier 2 tower down. And now the tower game is starting to even out. You have 94 HP on the top tier 2 for Lavender and 2 tier 2 towers remaining for Firestarter, but Team Rat is in full effect.
15,000 gold rate advantage.
They do have a gold advantage, but gold by itself doesn't win games. You need to be able to leverage it into a successful push, and it looks like they're going...
Shadow Fiend.
Yep, and...
Yeah, if they don't kill Shadow Fiend, they're gonna die.
And they start by killing off VMOX as Lemon Party does BKB. ABC's going to get finished off there. I don't know where he went. I completely missed it, but the egg is down. Oh! Magnus picked up an Aghanim Scepter, so he grabbed ABC and threw him into the egg with him, bringing ABC back to full health. And that's going to keep him in fighting shape long enough to secure the melee barracks. So, ranged barracks are all that stand, and it's eaten a bit of damage. In the top lane, though, as Broodmother tried to push, he was able to pick off the Wind Ranger, but Earthshaker got the counter kill.
Echo slammed him with all his spiders.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yep, I was busy watching the bot siege and missed the Rat Dota top siege, and now you have a dive on from Magmon to Clover, but he's going to jump back to one of his remnant and no real threat there. Whole bunch of heal being thrown Phoenix's way as he gets up to plus 99 healing per second, and just to prove a point, Firestarter dropping the double sentry, saying, hey, there's no vision anywhere near our top rune.
There's a really long Roshan oh wait, he's about to respawn. Yep, here he comes.
Twinkle, twinkle, little Roshan.
Bam. Oh, they
There he
pinged it
is.
right as he respawned. What?
You summoned him.
Sniping.
If only you could do that in-game. You ping Roshan and he spawns.
Oh,
That wouldn't be broken at all.
It'd be completely fair. I agree. Just like how they should increase the bounty on Megas, you know, because they're so hard to kill. They should be worth more gold, right?
Precisely. And I think they need to buff Flak Cannon's range. It's too short.
These are all terrible ideas.
Ice Frog, if you're listening, which I know you're a huge fan of the DotaCast stream, do not implement any of our ideas. Ice Frog's actually watching. He's like, yeah, that's a good idea, I'll do that. And then we are exiled from the Dota community forever. Oh!
It's like you're reported.
All of Dota reports us. You are now in low priority for the rest of Dota.
Oh, that trap! Oh, man!
Radiant's top tower has
But he's gonna BKB, teleport out.
Just TP. He's gonna lose his creep though, his speed aura.
Yep, and now Wind Ranger sprinting along, blinking along, looking for the power shot and slightly off the
Ember
mark.
has to get out of there.
I don't think they saw him retreat up, so I think they're gonna clear out these and call it a day.
They're gonna farm the wards. They need to take Roche. They should have Wind Ranger power shotting it. Like, they should know that the Roche is about to respawn. Like, Lavender's all over it. They're like, hey, they might be in road.
Yep, and right now you see Team Firestarter rotating around quite a bit in response to the pressure from Lavender Esports, and this is exactly what Lavender's hoping to accomplish by
Wind Ranger
pushing
joined
these
BKB,
lanes.
That's a good pick.
Yep, picking up the
Earth Shaker's
BKB
going to Interceptor.
after Ags Crystallis. It's one of the common builds here,
I
and
think Earthshaker should go 4 staff. I think he needs a 4 staff, like if it's goes Requiem on the Shadow Fiend during the fight. Someone needs to 4 staff people away from
and this time it's the Gyrocopter picking up the Aegis. Drums on the deck.
yeah, that's the right choice. He does all the damage.
Yep, I agree. Wind Ranger is good for the single pickoff, but now you have the counter engagement as VMOX surges forward. It's going to get caught out and dropped immediately. So, a little flat cannon damage as Wind Ranger blinks forward and catches the second support. So now the 2 supports out from Lavender as Lemon Party surges forward and tosses out his ult, looking to even up the score here, and they do secure 1 against the Earthshaker, but Clover gets shackled and he's running for his life, but he's out of remnants, and the Sunray comes out to finish him off. But in the back lines here, you have Nightmare implementing his Dagon strategy and lasering down the Winter Wyvern, but he'll be caught out by the remainder of Team Firestarter and eventually fall. So, Gem is on the deck and pinged out by Wind Ranger, but she misses it and instead picks up a courier kill for herself.
She picks up a second gem.
No, the courier went and picked up the Lavender's gem, and she killed the courier and then claimed the gem. So pro gem bait coming out from Team Firestarters. They look to secure their first win against Lavender Esports this season and push into the mid lane, but the buybacks once again coming out from Ember Spirit are going to force them back for now as their kill lead, which at one point was 4-20, has shrunk a little bit to 15-31, so just a 2-for-1 kill lead, but for now they're looking to expand it as Phoenix dives forward and picks up ABC. ABC returning back with full health, full mana, is just going to use this time to clean up the wards as Wind Ranger and Phoenix are able to secure the other 2 kills.
That's
And
a dieback.
the dieback once again coming out from Ember Spirit, and that's the second dieback of the game. He'll be out for 73 seconds, and he's a lot of the damage coming out from the team. So it's going to be very challenging
He does a lot of damage.
for them to defend this. They let the tier 3 tower fall, and VMOX rotating in, as well as Broodmother, as they try to throw out some harass damage and then fall back. But as they're falling back, they eventually just lose the melee barracks to this Wind Ranger's rapid fire auto attack as they try to make a retreat. Literally, I Can't Even catches Lemon Party out with a curse, and Phoenix diving in to support his bird brother is going to pay the price as he's lasered down from that level 84 Dagon on the Broodmother.
That was so funny. I watched Phoenix do the Icarus dive, then he was turned into a chicken.
You've seen diving chickens, right?
I mean, like the bird turned into another bird.
That's right. So many birds this game.
It's gonna be a really hard game for Lavender. They're gonna have to go Divine Rapier on Ember Spirit if they get deadly.
That's what it's looking like with the bot lane completely cleared out and the mid lane now losing its melee racks. Both of those lanes are going to be pushing into the Radiant side, so Team Firestarter pinging out, and it looks like they're probably going to smoke, is what I assume. Yep, smoke's coming out on multiple supports as they look to gather up in the mid lane, probably smoke up, secure a gank kill or 2 for themselves, and then push this final melee racks out of commission in the top lane.
Trickster's rune of illusion.
But while they look to gather up in the top lane, you have Broodmother doing brood things. pushing this bot lane. He's now purchased the Necronomicon as well, so he'll be able to rat it up even more so.
Rat Bill.
Total Rat Dodo.
Rat.
Team Rat looking to secure their comeback here in the late stages of this game as we approach the 40-minute mark.
If only they had like an Nature's Prophet with a life stealer, then they could like TP bomb people.
And an IO just for good measure. Teleport
Dude,
half the team.
Nature's Prophet attacks faster.
They're sitting just behind the creep wave here, keeping an eye on Clover, and there's the blink forward looking for the Shackle. It's going to be slightly off the mark, so. Amy on the Wind Ranger. Wind Runner, Wind Ranger, whichever you'd like to call her. Looking for those
Just call her
initiations.
Sylvanas. Let's confuse people even more. Yeah, Sylvanas is there. Those who think it's a drug.
Mm-hmm. And,
Easy MMO.
They're
Hey,
going to...
Clover drew a Clover, right?
That is...
Lemon Party drew a Clover.
Lemon Party drew a Clover. Now the smoke is up from Team
It's like, get over there,
Firestarter.
Clover.
But right now, the only heroes in lane are those in the bot, as they look to apply some of this Rat Dodo technology. The Spiderling Rat Dodo technology.
They suspect that the Dire are smoked up right now, I believe.
But they haven't dropped any sentries in this mid lane, so if they wanted to smoke just uphill into the mid lane and wrap around, they would have been able to.
They just smoked and they're gonna kill the Rancher Rex, maybe? Just ult it, Wind Ranger, come on.
She wants to save it here for this fight.
Tower is under attack.
With all 5.
12-second cooldown, like, you shouldn't have waited.
That's true.
Used it would have been off already.
Dire's bottom
But she secures the Rex, and now Clover's expending a ton of mana and a ton of remnants to try to catch up to these supports, and by doing so he's caught out by the Winter's Curse, but Amy is going to get caught in a Ward's Trap, but she doesn't seem to mind, as she also...
Oh no, the Phoenix ult!
This Phoenix ult
Gee, that's
acting dirty, picking up
Phoenix is the
ABC
MVP of
once
this game.
again.
Hands down.
Radiant's middle tower is
I don't see a ton of Aghanims on the Phoenix, but it was definitely implemented to its fullest, saving ABC no less than 3 times throughout multiple team fights, and allowing their team to re-engage after multiple kills, and without much damage to them, as the Gyrocopter is able to return back with full health and mana. And so that is game 1, and the first win Firestarter has been able to secure over Lavender Esports this season. So congratulations to them. This matchup, unlike their first meeting, is going to be a best of 3. So there cannot be a split victory here, and Firestarter are halfway there as they secure game 1. And as you mentioned during the draft, the strategies were pretty clear-cut coming into this. You had Team Fight versus Team Rat, and in the end, Team Fight looked to come out victorious.
Yeah, they just got way too greedy with that Broodmother pick.
Yep, definitely put them, especially as I believe Nightmare is their stand-in. So difficult for a stand-in to jump into extremely greedy lineup and push into a team full of spider clearers. So challenging game for him, but he does come out with the use of his Dagon, at least with an even KDA, securing those 3 fantasy points for himself. So that was game 1 in this playoff matchup between Firestarter and Lavender Esports. Thank you for tuning in. I am Darman, and I don't think I mentioned you during the introduction phase of the game, but my co-caster today has been Cookie, and he will be joining me again for game 2, so stay tuned for that. Cookie, any final thoughts on game 1?
Nah, I just think Lavender has to pick a less greedy lineup, and they gotta play Firestarter's game. That's how we beat Banana Slug Gaming. We were the same as Lavender. We'd always do well in the late game, And Firestarter's like Banana Slug, and they just take the fight early, and you gotta fight with fight.
So we'll see if they heed that advice and pick a more team fight oriented lineup here in Game Tune. Stay tuned, everyone.